First you say it, then you do it. Let's fly by. Happy New Year and welcome to the first flyby of 2016. I'm Paul Harrop and this is the show where we give you the cool stuff from aviation in bite-sized chunks. Speaking of chunks, this guy is really close to losing some. In aviation, we are always taught to assume that every prop is live, and this is why. Philip Zamagius says the prop grazed his hand and head, but not enough to break the skin. Thank goodness, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except for props. They will straight up kill you. But a prop stopping doesn't mean you face impending doom if you're flying. This airplane landed safely on a freeway near Los Angeles, and the student pilot has some impressive credentials. The flight launched out of Van Nuys Airport. It was an instructor and this student pilot. They made a picture-perfect landing captured here on Twitter, right on the 23 freeway. The pair talked to KCAL 9 News in the Southland, and then the internet broke. Turns out the student pilot is famous for another body of work. Alexis Ford, as she is known, is a prolific adult actress, according to the internet. And according to our records, she's an AOPA member. Proof that aviators come from every walk of life. No matter who you are, if you want to learn, you can fly. And the most significant step in the process is your first solo, or when you fly the airplane by yourself for the first time. It's a really big deal.
Flying is something I've always been interested in, something I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid, really.
AOPA Live's Josh Cochran was bitten by the flying bug early on, and his CFI Chris Mosier is just as nuts about it.
Ever since being a little kid, I've loved airplanes, and also, I love teaching, so for me it's the ultimate combination that I get to teach people how to fly.
Chris works in flight training initiatives at AOPA and also instructs fellow employees.
A good student, I'd say commitment, someone that really wants to learn, is passionate about it, is excited about it, and is willing to also put in the practice and the hard work that's also part of it.
And Josh has certainly met that end of the deal. Woo! After months of hard work, it was time for Chris to get out of the airplane and let Josh be pilot in command.
It was really pretty amazing. Just the feeling of doing it alone was really kind of surreal, and just the feeling of being alone in the airplane taking off, the feeling of the freedom, and also the feeling of I'm the only one here, and the only way this airplane's getting back on the ground is if I land it. So it was really pretty amazing feeling.
It's obviously amazing. So like when you're in the airplane, you're going around the pattern with them, and you've gotten to this point, and it's like at that point, I never would solo anybody that I didn't have total confidence in. So it's very much like the sense of like when I go to get out, I'm like, you're good to go. But then there's also the part where then you're on the ground and you're watching now, and then it's like, I'm sure CFIs out there can, relate to this in the sense of like you're kind of pacing back and forth like, don't forget what I told you.
Honestly, we're so high, it's not even good.
But Josh doesn't. Not only does he fly perfectly with a whole nest of GoPros on the airplane and a crowd of AOPA staff watching from the ground, he greases all 3 landings.
Beautiful. Oh, that is good. How was it? It was good. It's cool, right? Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks. Fortunately, my landings are better than my radio calls.
Nah, it was fine. I knew what you were doing.
Just chew your way through it.
So with a freshly trimmed shirt tail, Josh is getting back to working towards his private and looking ahead to learning more.
Flight training has really been a really rewarding experience, I think even more so than I thought it would be, and I've just really enjoyed it and hope to continue on.
A big congrats to Josh, who is the director of FlyBy. If you want to join Alexis and Josh and many others in good company as a student pilot, we are here to help you learn how. Head to AOPA.org to find everything you need to get started. That's FlyBy, powered by AOPA. My name is Paul Harrop, and we'll see you next time.